What's good? What's good? What's good, baby? It's your boy Trex, the sports junkie, and welcome to NBS The Recap. Man, the show where we recap all the fire things that happened over the weekend, and especially recapping Monday Night Football. Of course, I
Wait, I
got my
can't hear
brother with
nothing.
me. Hey, chill, man. Hey, why you messing up my
Hold on, I
introduction?
can't hear nothing.
You can't. Y'all can hear me?
I
Wait,
can hear you. You hear me?
Oh, okay. Well, I hear you. I don't know what's up with Keo, but we have a special guest tonight. You know, he's been ducking. He's supposed to be doing these with us. But Mr. Box Office, what up?
What up,
LSU loses.
y'all?
Now you want to come on?
Yes, exactly. LSU lost three straight after y'all hyped them up all this year. I'm ready to talk football. I don't know if the LSU
Now
fans
you ready to talk
I don't
football?
know if the LSU fans are ready to talk football. Keo, we might have to talk some swimming. So it's something else. I don't know if the LSU fans want to talk football
Hey,
anymore. They done for this year.
I mean, I did go 5-0 in my picks this past week in college, but that's neither here nor there. You know, it is what it is. But what up, Keo?
yo, what up, man? Um, yeah, you know what happened tonight in this the worst Monday night football game ever that I've ever watched in my entire life, man. Um,
Wow.
but outside of that, man, my fantasy football team won. The winning streak
Oh,
continues for
you won
me.
by one?
Yeah, I won by 1 point, man. Woo!
But
Ezekiel Elliott gave me the 4 points I needed. That's the only reason why I watched that stupid game.
wow, wow. My team laid an egg this week. I don't know what that was, but my team. My team was stripping. But we here. Let's break down the stuff. Let's go, Keo.
All right, man. What we normally always do, man, we always recap the game that happened. So the Monday night football game between the Houston Texans and the pathetic Dallas Cowboys. Houston Texans wins 34-10, man. What's your guys' thoughts on this game?
A beat down. A beat down. But I will say this. Brandon Aubrey hits the 64-yarder. They call the personal foul. They cut it to 7, but then they take the 3 points off the board. And then after that, it's like Dallas just unraveled right before our eyes. Um, they didn't get the 4th and 2, and then all of a sudden, Houston just takes over the game from that point on. But I mean, it's no big surprise here. Joe Mixon has 3 touchdowns. He's probably gonna be a nominee for Player of the Week this week, along with Amon-Ra St. Brown, and dare I say, Taysom Hill. Oh, don't come for me. I'm just sitting there saying. I'm just saying what it is. But yeah, no, this is exactly what I thought would happen. And shout out to the Texans on getting Nico Collins back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say. I think 95% of the country thought the Texans would win this game. They did. Aubrey missed his first ever kick in Dallas. That was a little bit of a momentum change. He did slip on it. He recovered by hitting a 65-yarder, 64, whatever it was. But then there was a penalty on Houston that actually hurt Dallas later on because then
Yep.
they failed on fourth down. Look, Dallas is a disaster. They are who I thought they would be. They're 3-7. I didn't have them making the playoffs. I just didn't see how they were 12-5, I think, last year, and they get eliminated in the first round. And I said, okay, how are they going to be any better this year? And they weren't going to be any better because they didn't do anything. Derrick Henry was out there. They decided to sign a 85-year-old Zeke instead. But
Wow.
CD still doesn't have a true number two around him. Brandon Cook's been hurt forever. I don't think they use Jake Ferguson enough. Dak is now hurt, and I didn't understand the Dak signing either. That didn't make sense to me at all. Yeah, I think they hit their peak with Dak. They should have moved on like Minnesota moved on from Kirk. I thought it was that kind of situation. They should have started over. Um, and Mike McCarthy's in his last year in his contract. He's going to be gone. Um, I think the only thing the Cowboys should do remaining of the season is play Trey Lance. And the reason I say they should play Trey Lance is you gave them a fourth rounder for him. Sure, Cooper Rush is better right now, but you're not going to make the playoffs, right? And you have to accept that. So might as well start Trey Lance and see if he's got any potential under him, especially since you traded for him. So play Trey Lance. What do you have to lose? Even if he stinks, okay, whatever. You're not making the playoffs regardless. Maybe if he stinks, it's even better for Dallas because then they're going to end up with a higher pick. So I don't know. Dallas is who I thought they were going to be. So, like I said, the guy to blame for most of this is Jerry. He didn't put enough effort in his coaching search a couple years ago. He didn't put enough effort with the Dallas Dak extension. I didn't understand that. And then he didn't sign Derrick Henry. He didn't do a lot of things. So he's allowed this nonsense to go on. So nothing surprised me. Dallas is not that big.
Yeah, man. I wasn't entertaining this game at all. I wasn't even excited about this game because I already knew what was going to happen. Obviously, I picked Dallas to lose and they lost. They didn't do they more than just lost. They got their ass kicked. They got annihilated, man. 34-10. Um, this is the sixth straight home game that Dallas has trailed at least 20 points or more this season at home. You're not doing this on the road. You're doing this all of this is happening at home. You're getting beat down 20 points plus in these home games, um counting back what the Green Bay Packers did to them. So yeah, and then things just get more. The bad news just keeps coming. Tyler Smith gets injured, Zach Martin gets injured. CD Lamb seems out of it. He doesn't seem like himself, and the Texans, they didn't play their best game, but the defense came through though. The takeaways, the turnovers they created, they created 7 sacks in this game. It was all about the running game. D'Amico Ryans, he said, "Hey, we're gonna run the ball down their throats because their defense ain't gonna stop it." And that's exactly what they did with Joe Mixon, man. It was just costly mistakes. What you've been seeing from the Cowboys this season, man. The Cowboys actually have the second most turnovers in the NFL right now. This is bad. This is very horrible, man. And things is not gonna get better for them because their schedule, it's just gonna get even more tougher, man. So I'm there's no positive things that I could look forward to for the rest of the season to build on. There ain't
Well,
nothing.
I got one for you.
What?
Maybe a high draft pick, maybe a new coach, and maybe, just maybe, the guy that used to play. But hey, we gonna stop there. We gonna stop there. We gonna
uh,
stop there.
okay, maybe if I'm the Cowboys, I'm tanking this season, man. Because if I know I don't have a chance at all, I'm tanking the season, and you like you said, getting a high draft pick because there is nothing left for the Cowboys, man. And yeah, so I would tank and look forward to what happens next year. I'm surprised actually Mike McCarthy hasn't even gotten fired yet. The way this team is playing, and especially how high expectations Jerry Jones has for the Cowboys team every year. I'm surprised Mike McCarthy is not gone right now. And I won't be surprised. I'll be surprised if he survives the entire season of him not getting fired by Jerry Jones.
Well, I think the main reason he hasn't been fired yet is because you can't blame it all on him. Jerry didn't help him in the offseason any. Dak is hurt, which technically isn't his fault. So I don't think McCarthy's to blame for a lot, honestly, this year specifically. But I agree, Keo. Play Trey Lance. Cooper Rush is better right now. So see what you got out of Trey Lance. And if you keep losing, whatever, you get a higher draft pick.
Come on. This is so unlikely of the Dallas Cowboys. You throw the ball 55 times. Cooper Rush actually had more passing yards than what's his name, CJ Stroud. But obviously it's more than just throwing the ball. At the end of the day, there's three aspects of the game: offense, defense, and coaching. And the Cowboys did not complete any of these things in this game. So yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it at when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, man. All right, man. I'm not going to spend too long about these losers, man. That's right. I'm calling my Dallas Cowboys losers. These losers, these dorks, these geeks. Anyways, man, let's go on to our next topic, man. Winners and losers from this past week in the NFL.
You want me to go first, or you got it, Yvonne?
Y'all want to do losers or winners first?
No,
Losers.
if you want me to go first, I can go first. I'm ready. I just didn't know,
Let's
You
do
go
the
ahead.
losers first.
You go ahead.
All right. My biggest loser this week, man, is the Atlanta Falcons. I don't know what that was. And I know Denver's been playing well. I get it. But Atlanta, a lot of us picked Atlanta to win the division. And not only on top of that, we thought to ourselves, maybe this team can contend in the NFC. And I don't know, man. They beat up on bad teams, but they're just really not a great team, as good as I thought they would be. So they're my biggest loser because I thought that even if you lose the game, because there's gonna be teams that y'all may name as losers, but they didn't just lose; they got beat down by Bo Nix and the Broncos. It was a beat down. So for me, that's the biggest loser because at the end of the day, they got dominated. That's my biggest loser. My biggest winner, bro. Look, I was wrong. I'm gonna come on here and say I was completely wrong, and I'm gonna give them their flowers, and not just them, him. The Pittsburgh Steelers are my biggest winner. I said Russell Wilson was done when he was in Seattle. I was like, dude, I don't have to see anything else from Russell Wilson. He needs to retire. He's a backup for the rest of his career. And he's come to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and yes, they didn't score a touchdown. They got 5 field goals. We understand that, but they beat the Baltimore Ravens. And I didn't think you couldn't tell me that the Pittsburgh Steelers would be, I think, at 8-2 right now. I believe they are 8-2.
Lead the division.
That's insane to me. And Russell Wilson has played well. So my biggest winner right now has to be the Pittsburgh Steelers, because I know where y'all gonna go. So that's why I didn't name one of them. So go ahead. I'm letting you have your moment.
Okay, so my winner was actually Pittsburgh because they lead the division, and I thought they'd beat Baltimore. So for them to do it just confirmed it to me. I also had them beating Washington last week. So I think the last 2 weeks, the Steelers have really proven themselves to people.
And you're the only one that picked the Steelers, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's remind X that also.
Yes. Well, just because X had him as a winner, I'm going to go another direction. I got the Buffalo Bills.
That's what I thought you was going to go. That's why I didn't say it.
Dude, the Buffalo Bills are the best team in the AFC right now. They just proved that by beating the Kansas City Chiefs, what no one else has been able to do. They've been totally up and down, but they pull out games because they have Patrick Mahomes in the fourth quarter, and somebody decided to outplay Patrick Mahomes, and it's that guy that I said is the true MVP leader. It's Josh Allen. Josh Allen is getting it done with receivers that you can find on the street of New Orleans, Louisiana. Like these guys, come on, man. Shakir?
Don't disrespect
Shakir,
Shakir. That's a,
she,
that guy's on my fantasy
Amari,
roster.
Amari
Don't
Cooper.
be
they
disrespectful.
just picked up Amari Cooper. He was balling
Yeah,
before Amari Cooper.
And they got Keon Coleman. Be respectful.
Keon Coleman, I like, but he hasn't played last couple weeks, and they keep getting it done. Uh, Dalton Kincaid didn't even play, and they got it done. Curtis Samuel, that come on, this is the Ohio State 2016. Like, come on, hey,
Wow.
no disrespect to the rest of the roster, but I don't know many quarterbacks that would have this team going like Josh Allen does right now. A lot of people didn't have the Bills win the division. Some didn't even have the Bills in the playoffs. They didn't think the Bills were sexy enough. Well, it doesn't matter how sexy the roster looks. Josh Allen is there. If you have the quarterback, you're going to make it work. To me, he's the front runner for the MVP right now. And by the way, Keo, he's got over 20 touchdowns this year. You wanted to say he's not going to have 20 touchdowns this year, which
That
I don't know
is
what you
true.
were thinking. I don't know what you were thinking, but he's already over 20. So they're my biggest winner because they are the only team to beat the Kansas City Chiefs this year, and they're second seed in the AFC as of right now. My loser, and I like the Falcons, but the Falcons are still in the playoffs as of right now, so I can't go there. I'm going to go to Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh my God. That's
They've been trash all year, but this is like I didn't have the Jags in the playoffs, but this is pathetic. 2-9. I understand Trevor Lawrence hasn't played last 2 weeks. It doesn't matter. They were bad with them. They have too good of a roster to only be 2-9. They're pathetic. Their only two wins are the Patriots and my Colts. I mean, that's bad. They got annihilated, 52-6. I don't see Doug Peterson coming back. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. He won a playoff game with the Jags, but he hasn't been able to keep that momentum going at all. And I think the main reason is because he hasn't taken Trevor Lawrence to that next level. And I think that's what's holding him back. Travis Etienne has been bad. Tank Bigsby looks better. They don't have a true number one in my eyes at wide receiver. Their receiving corp is up and down, so they're my losers.
all right. I was wrong about Josh Allen, so my apologies to Josh Allen.
there you go. We
um,
apologizing today.
but I was, he's better than I thought, man. He's an elite quarterback at the end of the day. I gotta admit that. I said it. He's an elite quarterback. I never
Thank
believed
you,
it.
my friend.
Um, when it comes to Josh Allen, man, the thing I've questioned him was, can he be that guy to carry his team by himself? And he's done it, man. So it's kudos to him and what the Bills have done. I didn't think the Bills could make it to the playoffs. Just what they lost on the offensive side, including on the defensive side also. But I don't have them as my winners or losers. My losers is the Baltimore Ravens, man. Um, I did not see this coming at all. I saw a lot of people had the Ravens winning this game. I thought the Ravens was gonna win this game convincingly. They slowed down the guy that people had as MVP, Lamar Jackson. They held Lamar Jackson in check. He barely threw for 200 yards. He got sacked twice. He got picked off. They contained the running game also, and they stopped from those big plays. They avoided the big plays, and that leads me to my winners. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. I've said it before that people been disrespecting the Pittsburgh Steelers, and obviously the Steelers are for reals, and they are a legit team in the AFC, and if not beating the Ravens didn't prove it, this definitely proves it now. They're basically on a 2-game division lead right now over the Baltimore Ravens right now, and the Steelers are sitting really pretty right now a very dangerous team because they could run the ball and pass the ball also. And then on top of that, that defense that they got with TJ Watt and Patrick Queen is nasty right now, man. Might be the best defense in football right now. So I got them as my winners. All right. So that leads us to what we're going to talk about next. The NFL Power 5 rankings, man.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna say this though. I know Mr. Box Office, he's giving Lamar some some pushback on an MVP, but I still have Lamar leading MVP. There was a lot of stuff that happened in that game that wasn't on Lamar. I just want to say that I watched that game. I know y'all did as well, but yeah, the Ravens as a whole has to play better. So I took them outside my Power Five rankings because at the end of the day, you have to win games like that. The Chiefs have proven they can win games like that, and there's other teams that have proven that they can win games like that. So my top five goes like this. Coming in number five, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. For the first time,
What? At
I'm gonna give
five?
them flowers. I'm gonna give them flowers. I was wrong. Oh, but TJ Watt and that defense, man, they're different, man. They coming in number five for me. At number four, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. Um, I said once they got healthy, they'd be dangerous. And I still don't think they played great, but yet they got the job done. And I think they're gonna be a tough out in the NFC just because of all the weapons that they have on the offensive side of the ball. And what Saquon Barkley brings to the table is just different and special. So I got them coming in at number four. At number three, I know, Mr. Box Office just said what he said, but yet that game was in Buffalo. As of now, they'd have to go to Kansas City and play Kansas City in the playoffs. I think that's a difference maker. So Buffalo comes in at number three for me. Even though they beat Kansas City head to head, it was in Buffalo. So I'm going to go with Buffalo at three, followed by the team that just lost to them. That's the Kansas City Chiefs. I got the Kansas City Chiefs coming at number two. But right now, I don't think that anybody on X right now that's tuned in, anybody on Facebook, anybody on YouTube can say, if you watch with your own two eyes and you don't know nobody's names, you don't know the team names, who is the best team that you've seen in the NFL? It got to be the Detroit Lions. They can do everything. They're scary. They play good defense. They can run the football with two different running backs. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions in one game against a playoff team that we saw tonight, and they still won that game. So I got the Detroit Lions at number one.
Recap in the order.
I have the Steelers, Eagles, Bills, Chiefs, Lions.
Wow. Okay, so mine is very close. I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna go number five, the Eagles. The Eagles, man, you would think there's a lot of turmoil inside that organization, but no, it doesn't matter because as long as Saquon and AJ Brown are healthy, they're balling. They are a tough team to beat on the offensive side of the ball if they have those two guys healthy. I mean, you can make the argument they're both top five in their position, and all Hurts has to do is just be smart with the ball. And the Eagles are scary, so I'm going to go with them. Number five, number four, I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That defense is scary. If Lamar Jackson's your MVP, I got to see a better MVP against that defense. I mean, they shut down that run defense or that run offense from the Baltimore Ravens. They also, like I said the week before, beat the Washington Commanders, who actually a lot of people were saying, oh, they might have an MVP on their side at one point. So to me, the Steelers defense is nasty, and all they need Russell Wilson to do is just stay above average. And so far, he's been that. George Pickens also looks better under Russell Wilson instead of Justin Fields. So that offense works better for Pickens. Number three, I got to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. They can't be top two if they just got beat by the Bills. To me, they've also been getting away with a lot this year. They should have lost to Denver the week before. They got lucky off a blocked field goal. They've come down to earth. They need to get healthier. I think they get Pacheco next week. Maybe they get some pieces back, like Hollywood Brown, and come the playoffs. But right now, I can't see them winning the Super Bowl if they keep playing like this. They have to get better on offense. Mahomes is struggling. If we look at Pat Mahomes, I'm going to do a quick search. Pat Mahomes' stats this year, because just by the eye test, he hasn't looked great. But this year, 15 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Not that great. Um, and of course, we're going to give him a pass because he's won multiple Super Bowls and two MVPs. But um, they can't win the Super Bowl with him being up and down a lot. They need him to become the old Pat Mahomes we're used to. So number two, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. I think they've been very impressive. And like I said, whoever they had at receiver, they found a way because of Josh Allen. Um, Keon Coleman hasn't played every game. They just brought in Amari Cooper. Dalton Kincaid now was out, and they keep getting it done. It just seems like they just need James Cook to be a little consistent, and Josh Allen can do the rest. They're number two, and like I said, the best team in the AFC so far. And number one, it has to be the Detroit Lions. They are dominating. They don't miss Aiden Hutchinson yet, and I think that they might miss him in the playoffs. But right now, they don't need him. Zadarius Smith is in there now. Brian Branch looks really good. Carlton Davis was a good pickup. And then that Lions backfield is nasty. Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery. If they keep it going, all Jared Goff has to do is the minimum. So to me, they've looked like the best team in the league, and it's not even close.
Okay. Number five for me, rounding out number five, I got the Philadelphia Eagles at five. Philadelphia Eagles, they have looked good. They look like I've said that Saquon been carrying this team, but it looks like that passing game starting to click. Um, as Hurts is healthy, AJ Brown is healthy, so I like the Eagles, man, and they look like they're starting to clear the gap and create separation with the Commanders, who is second in that division. I got them at five. Number four, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. I knew that if they won this game, they had to be in people's Power Five rankings because there's no way that this team is playing on the level it's playing, and you're not showing them any type of respect at all. So I don't know how Tomlin does it, but he always pulls it off, man. And it was a great move to switch the quarterback position, and Russell Wilson stays undefeated. Coming at number three for me, I got the Kansas City Chiefs, man. Kansas City, um, it's they may look you only have one loss, but those wins are not pretty, man. They're close games against teams that they should be beating. Patrick Mahomes, we mentioned about last year that he might have his worst career statistically last year. If you look at this year, you could have an argument about that. Patrick Mahomes is tied in the league with first in interceptions with 11 right now. Um, and this team, it's not the same Patrick Mahomes like Yvonne mentioned that we're used to seeing. Um, they still can get the job done. I think that if they did play the Bills again, I think the Chiefs would get them though. But I do have them at number three. Number two, I got the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills, they had the most impressive win this past weekend. And you can't deny that they beat the undefeated team, the team that was ranked number one for the first 10, 11 weeks already. So yeah, that's a given. And then obviously at number one is the Detroit Lions, the most consistent team right now. And that's including the loss of Aiden Hutchinson, also the two-headed monster, St. Brown, you with Jamison Williams, even Sam Laporta banged up, and you see what Jared Goff's doing right now. I like this Lions team, man, and it looks like they are the team to beat right now. So those are my Power Five rankings.
Yeah, Ben Johnson's gonna definitely get a job after this year as somebody's head coach. I mean, they're gonna pay that man because of what they're doing in Detroit. I will say this though. I know we're gonna get to college in a second, but man, LSU call up Pittsburgh. Whatever Pittsburgh's doing to stop running quarterbacks, y'all need to figure that out because I don't know what LSU is doing. Golly.
All right. All right. Before we get to college football, last week our player of the week that we voted on was Lamar Jackson. So it's time for this past week in the NFL. We're gonna each nominate a player of the week and let the people vote. So go ahead. Who you nominating, X?
I'll go first since it looks like X is thinking about it. I'm going to go first. I got Amon-Ra St. Brown, 11 catches, 161 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And on top of it, the team won. Complete domination. Amon-Ra St. Brown is so underrated, and it's because he plays in Detroit, but he's so consistent. And one thing I like about Amon-Ra St. Brown, knock on wood, he's not injury prone at all for a receiver. So all he does is produce. He's my player of the week.
Man.
And there's a lot of guys that you can go, but I just like Amon Ra having a great game and getting more recognition as well.
I ain't mad at that. My only problem with that one because I'm trying to think. The only thing I have a problem with that is they play Jacksonville, so I'm not. I mean, it's not. Um.
So then it can't be Taysom Hill since he played Cleveland.
Well, no, because the
Oh,
Saints are what y'all say they stink, right? That's what y'all say. I
They
can't
do.
say that I had them not making the playoffs before the season started either. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Joe Mixon. Even though the Cowboys
Okay.
suck, Joe Mixon played well tonight, and it was in a prime time moment. Um,
3 touchdowns.
yeah, 3 touchdowns. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish I could have nominated Joe Burrow because that game was awesome last night. But Evan McPherson let the Bengals down. It just was the Bengals. They started slow. I can't just put all of it on Evan McPherson, but Joe Burrow, man, that dude had a better record. He would be the clear cut favorite for MVP right now. But it is what it is. I'm gonna go Joe Mixon just because it was a primetime game.
my nomination. I'm going with Jared Goff. 24-29, over 400 yards passing, 4 touchdown passes, man. And the if you ain't talking about Jared Goff in the MVP conversation, you best believe you better talk about him now because Jared Goff is definitely one of the best games he's had, even though it was against a bad team. It was good what Burrow did, man. Those are my that's my nomination.
Okay. Okay.
All right, man. Let's move on over to college football. Winners and losers.
Man, let me say this, man. I'm gonna start with my loser. I have so many losers. I know y'all gonna say some as well, because I have a lot written down right here. But I think man, I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh. Even though I picked Clemson to win that game, Pittsburgh scores late. You're at home. This is your chance. Maybe, you get lucky and maybe you have a shot at getting into the ACC championship game. The things didn't fall your way. Yeah, I think there's like a minute and 30 left in the game. And K. Klubnik breaks for a 50-something yard run when listen to this. Clemson had 8 rushing yards up until that moment. 8 rushing yards.
Mm.
And you let K. Klubnik break for that game winner. I just think Pittsburgh, you dropped the ball in that one. I could go add on to that because the ACC and the Big 12, one team, one team's going to the playoffs. That's it. You don't have to even overthink it. One team after all these losses. So, yeah, but I'm going to say Pittsburgh because I thought Pittsburgh, watching the game, I'm like, oh, they might beat Clemson. So I'm going to go Pittsburgh.
Okay. You
Oh, and
just
my
did.
winner. I'm sorry. My
Yeah.
winner. My winner's Georgia. Even though I picked them to beat Tennessee, they had everything to lose in that game. They lose that game, they're pretty much out the playoff race. And they did what they had to do. They went in. I mean, not went in, but they were at home and they knocked off Tennessee. They're my biggest winner because they're right there in the thick of things, right when we thought they would
CB,
be.
man.
And I will say that Carson Beck, I still think he could play better. I'll say that. I think he could play better than what he played, but he played good enough
It was
to
against a
win
good
that game.
defense, though.
Yeah, they are. They are. So yeah, and I did say Georgia would win by 2 touchdowns, but I'm just, I just threw it out there. Go ahead, Mr. Box Office.
Okay. My biggest loser is easily BYU.
I knew somebody was gonna pick them.
I mean, if BYU just finished undefeated, they'd have a bye week into the playoffs, and then they'd already be in the bottom 8. They'd be in
I
the
didn't let
last.
you out.
Yeah, but they'd be in the last 8. You give yourself a chance. But hey, me and X called it last week. We had Kansas win that game. They should have lost to Utah.
They should have 2 losses. That's correct.
Yeah, and now they actually play Arizona State. And it
Yep.
looks like that game will determine who will be one of the teams in the Big 12 title game.
Yep.
So BYU ruined a big opportunity. And honestly, it was expected from us. That's usually what those type of teams do. They eventually prove who they are. So to me, they're the big loser. The big winner for me is actually Clemson, is because Clemson stays in the ACC title game as of right now, and all they got to do is just win the remaining games, and they're in the playoff. They're the ACC champ.
Well, I read somewhere, maybe I'm wrong. I read that right now, if everybody finished undefeated, undefeated in the ACC left on their schedule, Miami would play SMU in the ACC championship game because
I'm,
they beat Louisville while Thing lost to Louisville as far as a common opponent.
then why right now are the ACC standings SMU 1, Clemson 2?
Because Clemson's done playing the ACC. They're 7-1.
Okay, so that makes sense then. Okay. Well, at the end of the day, even with that, Clemson only has 2 losses, so they can still sneak into the playoff in general. So this was a big win for them, in my opinion, regardless, because they stay in the race. And I did watch the ending, so I saw the Cade Klubnik touchdown. He needed a game-winning drive, and it only took, I think it was 3 plays. So big win for Clemson. I think they'll find a way to get into the playoff as long as they win out. They also play South Carolina soon, so that could help their case if they need it as well.
That's true. Miami or SMU can't lose. Don't count that out.
Yep.
All right, man. I told my peoples down here I had to do this. This is for personal reasons, man. My biggest losers is the San Jose State Spartans. Are you kidding me, man? This was your chance, man, to actually make a statement and impact. Let the college football world know about you. And obviously, you got, well, they did try to keep it close in the beginning, but at the end, Boise State with Genty ran all over them, man. All you had to do was stop the damn running back. You know they're gonna give the ball to that guy. He had the ball for rushed 32 times. He had 159 rushing yards, and he scored 2 touchdowns. They end up beating them by like 3 touchdowns. Boise State scored over 40. And you just made Genty's Heisman case even look more promising now, man. And San Jose State is a good team this year. That's why if they weren't a good team this year, I wouldn't even be speaking on it. But obviously, I know a lot of people showed out to the game in San Jose State. And a lot of people were excited and looking forward to it. And obviously, you didn't look forward to nothing because you lost at the end of the day, San Jose State. So I got San Jose State as my losers, and as far as my winners goes, If I had to pick, man, I'm gonna go with um I'm gonna go with South Carolina, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go with South Carolina. South Carolina has they showing people that they're one of the the teams out there in the SEC, man, and they the game was close, but obviously the defense was a huge difference in this game, and I definitely like South Carolina as my winners.
Okay.
All right. And we're gonna wrap things up in college football how we normally do it, man. Who are your top three guys on the Heisman race right now?
I was actually going to say that as far as my loser because I thought that Wisconsin had a chance to knock off Oregon at home. And even though Dylan Gabriel didn't play terrible, I'm not going to sit there and just say he played terrible. They didn't score many points. That's the key to me.
One
So
touchdown.
no, exactly. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, my three is still the same three. Cam Ward at three, followed by oh, hey, I'm gonna say this. It's followed by Travis Hunter, and I got Ashton Jitty, but I will say I do think Travis Hunter is starting to get that well, I lost his and he's my boy, Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, he's starting to get that momentum as far as the Heisman. You're starting to see more and more people say Travis Hunter for Heisman, Travis Hunter for Heisman, Travis Hunter for Heisman. And I think that as long as Colorado keeps winning, he's gonna ultimately win the Heisman if they was to win out. But I'll still put Ashton Jitty slightly above him, in my opinion.
Yeah, same. My top three is gonna remain Dylan Gabriel three, Travis Hunter two, and Ashton Genty one. Genty is 107 yards away from 2,000 yards rushing. He's got 26 touchdowns rushing. Um, he's also got another one receiving, so that's 27 touchdowns for the year. He's the reason Boise State is even relevant. Let's be real. And every game he's shown up, even when he's played Oregon. I keep saying when he played Oregon, he had 200 yards. So just another great performance. And that's their only loss is that a close game to Oregon, who's the number one team in the country. He's the Heisman winner to me as of right now. No disrespect to Travis Hunter, but he's missed a couple games. There's been a couple games where he's been pretty irrelevant for Colorado. He's having a great year, but I think it's Genty. I really do.
And that game was in Eugene too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right, so my three is still I think Cam Ward is in there. I think Gabriel hurt his chances though. I feel like he he's they I expected more in the game, especially against Wisconsin though, man. Even though it's a Big Ten battle. So I dropped them down to number four. I still got Cam Ward though. Cam Ward they still have a chance to even get the playoff berth, even possibly get in the ACC title game and clinch a playoff berth. So I got my three, but I do think it's a huge gap between Ward and Genty because Genty he's been the most consistent guy out of those. If you want to compare the resume, the strength of schedule, who Miami and Boise State has played, Boise State might have the better strike of schedule because they did play Oregon and UNLV. People overlook them because they're actually a good team also. So I got them at three, but Genty is number two right now. Like I said, he mentioned he ran for 159 yards, three touchdowns, 49-21 win over San Jose State, and he's continued to pile up. But number one though, I'm still going with Travis Hunter, though, man. Obviously, Colorado ends up winning again. Um, he caught five passes for 55 yards. He had a 5 yard rushing touchdown and on the interception on the other side of the ball. So, I think that if the more Colorado wins and Travis Hunter continues to play the way uh, as as much of an impact that he has on that team and field, I still like Travis Hunter as my number one guy to win the Heisman. So those are my top three. All right, before we leave, man, give me a dark horse Heisman that could possibly sneak in.
I don't think I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think nobody can get it as far as win it. I don't know. Besides those
Or
three,
like get into invited
but I
to New
told
York.
I told you to me a guy that should get some consideration and a dark horse. You thought after he lost LSU it was over with is Jackson Dart. I do think he deserves consideration because what he's done since that game has been really what he's played really well, and then he still has two more games on the resume to put some more stuff together. Um, I'm going Jackson Dart as for, but I don't think he's gonna has a chance to win it though. I will say that.
I'm just gonna stick with Dylan Gabriel. I think he's gonna get invited, maybe just because they end up the first team in the rankings by the end of the year. He hasn't had the best year, but he hasn't had a bad year whatsoever
Right,
either.
right.
He's pulled them out of a lot of games as well. I don't think they have much of a run game, so it's more so Dylan Gabriel leading the way. And who cares that they barely beat Wisconsin? I mean, they're undefeated. You're going to have close conference games. It's not easy to play in Madison, anyways. So
Yeah.
the main thing is he had a game-winning drive and they pulled it out
Yeah. Then why do you make fun of Florida beating LSU then?
because
Oh,
LSU's won three straight or lost three straight. That's
They
why.
have, they have, they
yeah,
have.
yeah,
And
whatever.
Jalen Milroe is not a dark horse for me. I picked him to win it. That's why I didn't mention him. I don't think he's gonna win. I don't think he's gonna, but he could be definitely invited to New York for sure if he has two monster games moving forward.
Well,
Well,
thanks
if
for
Alabama sneaks into the SEC title game
Right,
somehow
right.
and
I'm
ends
sorry,
taking,
Kyo. That's what you was going to say,
well,
my
thanks for stealing my thunder. Well,
man.
not exactly though, but the two guys that I have as dark horses, I'm assuming that they could get invited to New York. I'm not going to say they're going to win it because the chances are very slim. Is Jalen Milroe and I mentioned the other quarterback's name last week, Curtis Rourke, man from Indiana. Um, I think those two guys, they do have an outside chance of even getting invited at all, but they need to have that moment, man. I always mention these Heisman moments when I have these heated conversations with you guys and these debates with you guys. Those Heisman moments, you just got to remember that. And obviously, Jalen Milroe, you remembered that Georgia game, and obviously I don't know the LSU game may mean much anymore because he did have that huge game at running the ball all over them. But if he can put them into the SEC championship game, that'll be huge, man. But we just got to see. And then Rourke, man, you know who he's playing this weekend. Ohio State. The Ohio State. Man, if Indiana pulls this off, and we'll make our prediction this week on Wednesday on the
That's
NBA
a good
show.
one. That's a really good one. If
Man,
they
if
put it off and he
this
plays well, you're right.
happens, oh my man. All right, man. Well, those are my dark horses. But anyways, that's our recap for tonight, man. So let's wrap things up, man, and get out of here.
Well, the NBA show shouldn't be as long because we already gave our winners and losers now, and we can get on to the picks and whatnot. But shout out to y'all boys for coming on, man. After the Monday Night Football game, shout out to everybody that tuned in. Your boys under the weather, I still came through and did what I do. Oh, so it is what it is. But
Ha!
y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the brand, man. NBA Central on YouTube. Go add us on TikTok and all social media outlets. And be ready for the MBS show on Is it Tuesday we do it or Wednesday, Q? I know you said
Wednesday,
something about.
Wednesday. NBA show will be on Wednesday. I did talk to both you guys about that already, so
All
it'll
right,
be on
well,
Wednesday, 6 p.m. So we ready to go.
Wednesday, y'all tune in. That's my comeback. I'm about to catch C on the picks. Oh,
Hey, y'all. I had to make one of these recap shows. I'm happy you got on it. And like X said, man, Keo, don't keep us on until 3 a.m. All right, on Wednesday. All right, but no, good, fun show. Um, you know, at least we don't have to talk LSU rest of the year. They're
chill
Yeah,
irrelevant.
out, chill
yeah,
out.
yeah.
And
Well,
shout
we
out to
won't.
John Jones.
Oh,
Oh,
I had them winning.
well, we won't be on here 3 a.m. if you guys don't be talking about the Saints and freaking LSU all the whole show or most of the show.
there we go.
But yo, shout out to Yvonne. Good to see you back on this recap. Shout out to X, man. Make sure you go subscribe to the MBS channel. Follow us on TikTok. And once again, the MBS show will be this Wednesday at 6 p.m. But with that being said, man, that's Yvonne. That's X. I'm Keo. Until then, we'll see you guys next time. We out.
It's still
Peace.
LSU, baby.